Hi, friends. Tanya Gill, the Joy Alchemist here, and I'm so excited to share Maggie's letter number 2 with you. I have to tell you something really funny, and that is that when I channel these, I am a trance channel. So, as a trance channel, what that means is that I have the ability to be in a certain level of awareness of myself, but I'm also sort of in trance. So, I get images, which I may remember, but I don't usually remember the actual words that I channel in the process. The other thing I need to share is that I actually don't like to listen to my own voice. So, what I end up doing is getting a transcript and reading it. However, before I share Maggie's letter number 2 with you, a very interesting story about Mary Magdalene's history and how she came to meet Jesus, I want to share with you a little bit about my understanding of the Bible, which basically is that, and I said this with letter number 1, I really knew very little. So when she shared this piece around her journey, I was very curious about whether it aligned with her stories. And I have had a couple of sources of confirmation that what she shared actually is aligned with what we know of the story of Mary Magdalene in the Bible. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, the other thing that I kind of have wanted to talk about really quickly is what it is like and what I discovered along the journey of becoming a channel. So, as the Joy Alchemist, my mission is to guide souls to their highest selves through self love and connection. And what I've realized is that as mind, body, spirit systems, we have energy that needs to be transmuted, and we have experiences that change our lives, our understanding, and our mind, body, spirit connection. And we're our whole beings, and we are in perfection in every single moment that we are in. So you right now, you are so perfect. Own that. Now, while you're owning that perfection, recognize that in this beautiful life that you've lived, you also have this really cool opportunity to experience a whole bunch of amazing stuff. And you've chosen as a soul to come and have these experiences. So, as a soul choosing to have these experiences, I think some of us maybe chose to have even wilder experiences. And in the trifecta of joy, I talk about how I moved through some of the most challenging times in my life with humor and self compassion, but also like real self bullying bullshit because I am human, as are you. And how to move through that using awareness, befriending your inner critic, and raising your vibration. Now, here's that piece of vibration. Vibration is something that is really felt on a soul level. And so, because we are wired for the mind, we're often in the depths of thinking. My understanding of how I came to channel more freely and more and opened more to being a vessel was in my own personal journey of self trust. And some of that self trust has come as a result of some pretty tough stuff. So it's almost like we get these tough things to give ourselves a little bit of like a spiritual upgrade, if you will. But then there's the other piece around my willingness. So along the way, as I always had a connection to this idea of being spiritual and believing that everything's connected, I started to feel that in a deeper way as I leaned into deeper trust. And some of the places that I leaned into deeper trust are include things like being widowed on a family vacation in Mexico with an 8-month-old and a 4-year-old. Um, coming to the understanding of being a victim of sexual assault as a child and navigating that as an adult. Being a solo parent, navigating relationships, friendships, and dealing with my own personal body image issues and my belief that I only had value if I saw a certain set of numbers between my toes, all part of an incredibly human experience. And yet, it's those human experiences and the healing that happened through them, turning the what the fucks into what's this for, that I believe personally opened me more and more into that place of true self trust. And that true self trust is what I then allowed or opened more into so that spirit could help me understand that I had the gift of being the vessel. And that's why I'm really so passionate about self love, because the more you love yourself, the more you feel a connection, the more you feel like you are part of something larger, which, by the way, you are. We all are. And more than ever, while we're in this space of confusion and chaos in many ways, I think that this letter from Mary Magdalene also reinforces that the power we have to make change resides within us and outside of us, and that some of that can come from the beauty and magic of gathering. And that's why I believe in the Rebel Soul Sisterhood. I believe in you. So I've rambled in many directions, but more than anything, as I invite you to listen to Mary Magdalene's letter number 2, I want to invite you to open your heart to her message, to stay curious in your own life, and to recognize that these series of letters are really intended for the collective to recognize the light and darkness. I hope that as you listen to this, you understand that it was recorded in October of 2024, and yet its words ring ever true today. From the bottom of my heart, please listen and remember no face, because I have stepped into this space of showing my face now. Again, thank you for being, and I love you.
Sweet soul sisters, I speak to you not of a revolution, but of a remembering, of the importance of connection, of the vibration and frequency and of love and sisterhood, not speaking against the man, not speaking against the masculine energy, for we are both made of black and white. We are both made of male and female. We are of darkness and light. And still, we are all of each. This is not rising against that which is masculine, rather leaning into that which is intuitive, feminine, connected, strong, powerful, loving, empathic, generous, and wholly loving of self. For sisters, when we are lost in what is around us, that is when we forget the value of connection to self. And connection to self also comes in connection to sisters who are also in that space of growing and knowing and believing and trusting at a deeper level as we navigate a changing world around us. Stories repeat themselves over and over in time and in timelines as we move energetically through all that is. Let it be understood that my journey to finding a sisterhood was not a simple one, for I left my family. I left my family knowing that I could not stay, for I was to be married to someone thrice my age and raging of anger and disdain toward all women. I was to be his 8th wife, and I knew that I could not, for I knew that there was much more for me, and that to stay would be to give my soul away. And so I left by foot and traveled day and night, and along the way found light in the hearts of other women who were able to support me with food, water, and a scrap of what they had to share with me in stories and wisdom and material goods, along with a connection further down the road where we could hold one another in space, in light, and in love. As I made my way to the grand city, I found myself in the depths of gratitude as I arrived on the steps of a noble woman who accepted me in rags as her own sister. She was a glittering light in mind, body, and spirit, and lived in the shadows of her wealthy and powerful husband. Yet she offered me so much love, so much light, so much goodness. She dressed me in red and gold from head to toe and treated me as if a goddess. And yet I was but a humble runner trying to save my own soul from what my Father had chosen for me. And sisters, this is the reminder that while we may see ourselves as humble runners or runners at all, what we must recognize is that in fact we are the bravest of the brave, the rebels, the ones who are willing to take a chance and trust and lean in and believe in the possibilities. Because along the way, those other lights will be found. They are found. It is the way. We are all one, and therefore, what is meant for us will find its way to us in the most magnificent of ways. For me, it really was Mary Magdalene running. I believed I was running, and now I see that what I was doing was trusting in the bravest of ways. Just as you trust in the bravest of ways in the journeys that you are on. And so, sweet sisters, this is where we come to the gathering. It was the realization of the power of gathering of women, the light that we hold. The vibration of earth was changing with the coming of Jesus. And yet, he was simply a lovely man trying to show others the power within themselves. Funny as hell, charming, cute, and absolutely wondrous. He was a beautiful soul that captivated. He was my dearest best friend. There is so much to tell of the journey that we have shared. However, the journey that you are in at this time, sweet soul sisters, is one that must not be overlooked. For this is your path inward. This is your recognition of self. This is you stepping into your power, even when feeling shrouded in darkness, and recognizing the power, the strength, the love, the light, the vibrancy, the health, the alchemy that is created in gathering with your sisters. You find one another online. You find one another in spaces and places. And yet sometimes you don't take the risk to make that connection. Be intentional in that. More than ever, the world is needing the gathering of women in intention. Reflect for yourselves on those times of gathering with other women in intention. The memories you revisit will be those of laughter, connection, shared stories, ease, grace, love, and gratitude, joy, relaxation, connection. That is love, that is light, that is growing, and that is spreading. There is power in sharing and gathering, and it is the balm of the soul that women are needing at this time, for it creates a space in recognition of self, and also a beautiful space for realizing that the path of bravely growing forward does not have to be done in isolation, but rather creates an alchemical transformation where it is as if time bends, races, speeds forward. Magic happens in brief, brief moments. Sweet soul sisters, where to begin? The human condition is one that allows for a sense of doubt. It is that feeling as if one cannot manifest that which they believe is one cannot manifest. Doubt is the belief that one cannot manifest that which is destined for them. The love, be the light, be the way. Trust the love, trust the light, trust the way. Know that all unfolds in divine timing, and that I, along your side, will assure you of your worthiness of this brave path forward in love light. Your energy is needed more now than ever at a time in human history, as tremendous shifts are about to take place that will create an unrest and a sense of threat, what it means to be a woman on this earth in this time and space and place. By gathering in love light, you will accelerate and move through this time of darkness in a most rapid and less damaging way. Share your magic with one another. Give your gifts to one another. Share your love with one another. Teach, guide, support, love, entertain and be entertained. Play, laugh, create, connect with self, each other, and spirit. Feel that sisterhood is beyond the bodies of those in the room, much larger and much more powerful. As you grapple to find the words to describe what it is that you create, recognize that it is threaded and woven with words that equate with healing, love, peace, kindness, generosity, equality, opportunity, goodness, love, bravery, strength, power, connection, and recognizing that we are all one. Mother Earth is feeling the threat. And this is not a time to fear the threat, but rather to face what is to come with love and trust and peace. You are loved, sweet soul sisters. The Maggie in me is the Maggie in you.